All right, we should be live.
Well, we are super excited to be here with our friend RJ. Now, RJ solves one problem better than anyone else, and that is engagement. And coaches and course creators hire RJ to skyrocket their engagement because most feel like they're shouting into a black hole or that they're a carbon copy of everybody else. And they can't get the traction online to save their lives. Have you ever felt that way? Well, RJ creates epic engagement experiences that motivate people to click that button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. And the bottom line is she's on a mission to motivate 1 million coaches to change the engagement marketing. So be among the first by tuning in here and listening to all the gold that RJ is going to drop with you today.
Well, thank you. That was an amazing introduction. I can now go home. Wait, I am home. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's wonderful to be here with you on the summit. This is going to be a great time.
It definitely is. So can you give us an idea, RJ, of how superhero engagement is different from standard nurturing, such as posting and emailing and all the things that we're taught to do?
Yeah. And it really comes down to something very simple. Is it one-way communication or is it two-way communication? And which would you rather have? Most of what we do with marketing, with outreach, with all of those things, most of what we do is stand on a soapbox, grab a megaphone, and shout one-way communication, hoping that it's going to hit some of the right people and they're going to trickle back to us. And then, by God, we've got them. Oh, we've got their contact information. Now we can market to them. Okay. You, me, and everyone within the sound of our voices is tired of that syndrome. We are tired of being marketed to. Everyone is tired of being talked at. And so for me, the difference between what I do and what most folks do is that what I do is present an opportunity and an invitation to play, an invitation to a two-way conversation. That can be through a lot of different things. That could be through a bot, that could be through a quiz, that could be through an email in which you're encouraged to hit reply. But it's always a two-way conversation. I don't want people sitting in my list getting broadcasted at. I want to talk to those people. I want to figure out what's going on with them. And if I have something that might help them. And if I don't, maybe a friend of mine does. So it's the difference, I think, between a one-way conversation, which is straight up broadcasting and hoping, spray and pray, as they call it, and actually having a two-way communication with somebody.
I love that. I've never heard the spray and pray, but I love that. And that is, and that's also, when you think about it, it's frustrating on both sides, because when you're just throwing all your stuff out there and hoping it hits the right person, you're flying blind. You have no idea. And then those people who really can use what you have and need your help aren't able to find you, or maybe it's not reaching them or whatever, because first of all, you're not communicating back and forth, just like you said. I love that. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And here's another thing that a lot of people don't think about to a business owner, especially if you're a business owner in your first 5 years, and especially if you're a coach, and if you are one of those people who really want to cause transformations in people's lives. That's what you're good at. That's what you are good at. That's what makes you feel good. That's what makes a rock star experience, not all of this other marketing stuff. So when you go to do that spray and pray marketing, when you go to broadcast to a whole bunch of people for the 60th time, that you have something coming up or whatever, it's a drain. It's an emotional drain. And that, it's like a little vampire on your shoulder sucking your blood every time you are just broadcasting and hoping. because you are not getting that feedback back that you need. You're not getting that two-way conversation. You don't really know if the people you're talking to are really interested in what you've got. There's so many unknowns out there, and you're pushing so much energy out, that's burnout happens. And that's one of the big reasons why.
Yeah, that is such a good point. And we don't ever think of that. People think about burnout because you think that you're just doing too much, but maybe it's that you're just doing too much of the wrong stuff. And
Too much stuff that really sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and you want that connection. It's true. Real quick story here. When I first started out, I thought this is going to be great. I'm going to be an online entrepreneur and I'm going to create courses and people are going to get all kinds of golden transformation out of these courses and blah, blah, blah. And so I went through courses on my own, courses to create courses, right? Did it, created them, sold them. And then that dreaded statistic happened where only 3% of the people who purchase go through the course. And it was the most depressing thing because you know what? I didn't have a relationship with any of those people. They were just names that had purchased and that's all they were. And all I was to them was a name in their inbox. And, there was no reason for them to really engage with that. So what you're saying is so true. And people are so bombarded with stuff. They're not used to actually having someone who wants to engage with them. People are like on guard. Like if you're going to come talk to me, it's because you're going to sell to me. But if we can take people like RJ and like what all the people on the summit who are all about the human connection and relationship marketing, and we can try to turn the tide in the industry to where people aren't afraid to be reached out to because it's not going to be some big sales pitch. It'll be so much better for all of us.
It absolutely will, because what's modeled out there right now is all of the traditional ways of marketing. Hey, I made $300,000 in 5 minutes using this simple system. And you can have it too, but only if you press the button in this next half an hour. And if you don't push the button, maybe you're not a real entrepreneur. How many times have we heard that tactic? Yeah. And because it's popular, because it's get rich quick, because it's sexy for some, then people buy into that, and then they buy in, and everybody around us is a talking bro marketing robot. It is time in 2021. It is time. People see through fake a lot easier than they used to. Maybe just because we're bored and sitting around in our computers a lot. But people can really start to sense when somebody's message doesn't really, isn't that it's based on scarcity. It's right. Based on, you've got urgency, false urgency. You've got to do it right now. It's not based in integrity at all. And two, as women, we're often, I know that this happened to be 1,036 times in a room full, in a room full of people, I would say something and people would completely ignore it. And then 5 minutes later, somebody with a deeper voice says it. And then boom, it's really an idea. And when I complain about it, I'm told, you're not aggressive enough.
Yeah.
The same thing is taught in marketing. You're not visible enough. You're not aggressive enough. You don't go after those people enough. You need to do it this way. You know what? No, let's just stop the madness right there.
Yeah.
There are a million ways to do it right. There are a million ways to do it right that help you stay in your integrity, that make you sleep like a baby at night. Nobody's talking about that stuff because sometimes it's not as sexy, or maybe my voice isn't as loud as somebody else. That's okay. I just need everybody out within the sound of my voice to know you can do this, and you can do it within your integrity, and you can grab on to engagement. You can do this to grow your business. And it's a wonderful way to do it. My business isn't just, at the end of the day, How much money did I make today? And in fact, I hardly ever look at that number, much to my wife's chagrin. Anyway, I'm thinking about who did I meet? What conversations did I have? What relationships did I build? Did I get to transform anybody's life today? Those are the things that I think about. I don't have to think about the fact that I feel sleazy because I hit somebody's inbox 5 times in a day, or I made a promise that wasn't really real. I don't have to think about any of that stuff. None of that drains my energy. So I get to go like a full force locomotive all the time with a cape. Imagine that.
With a cape. Yeah. Something real quick that I wanted to piggyback on what you said. You know, the thing about where you're in a room or something and you have an idea and say it, and then the deeper voice says it and people are like, oh yeah, there's an idea. And then they say, oh, well, you're just not strong enough or aggressive enough. Well, if you become aggressive or strong, then they call you a bitch. So
yeah,
it's like it's no winning. And I think that's, nothing to put down masculine energy. We all have both, right? But the marketing in the online space has been so heavily leaning towards masculine for way too long that it's time to get the women in here, right? Let's get the feminine energy in and let's show them how it's done, ladies.
I am secretly wearing my favorite female superhero shirt. Black Widow is on today. This is her movie just came out and I loved it so very much. Anyway, superheroes aside for a moment. Yes. Let's get a different energy flowing because we can all benefit from this. We can all benefit. Whereas in the space where you're operating traditionally in that, that place we've talked about, it's an energy suck. It's a feeling like you aren't being somebody that you want to be anymore. It's feeling like you have to sell yourself out to get clients. And it is absolutely awful. Whereas, and it's a win-lose. Somebody's winning, somebody's losing.
That's right.
Getting into this different mindset, getting into an energy where a sales conversation is not a sales conversation. It's an invitation if both of you feel like things are going the right way. Anybody can make an invitation, my friends. And so getting into that energy is a place where it's a win-win. Because listen, if I like you and I know you're having a problem and I know I can't solve it, I bet you I have a friend who can. I can make that introduction. That's nothing, there are so many more situations in which we all win. It's just not where the attention is focused these days.
That's right.
That's exactly right, RJ. And I love, we of course totally resonate.
Oh, it's hard to hear you, Deirdre.
Okay, let me talk a little bit louder here. So we totally resonate with everything that you're saying. And can you hear me, Carmen?
Yeah, it's difficult to hear, but we can hear.
Okay. So let's talk about what are some actions that everyone can take right away to increase their engagement with their audience and their prospects in the superhero way.
Oh, of course, my darlings. Let's talk about free stuff you can do today that will change the way your community, the way your tribe relates to you. Okay, number one, and take notes if you want. I mean, it's strictly up to you, but take notes. Number one, ask them questions. Ask them lots of questions. Listen, you would never, ever walk up to somebody in a networking meeting and attempt to get to know them without asking them questions. If you want to know the people you're talking to, if you want to know how they feel, what they're doing, what their problems are, you're going to need to ask them. And so social posts, ask a question. Your emails, ask a question, tell people to hit reply and answer a specific question. Because trust me, they do. I will show you my inbox. They do to me every single day of the week. So questions, ask them questions, closed-ended, open-ended. I don't care. You need to frame it as a conversation. You need to frame it as a conversation that you're going to continually have. On my email list, if you join me, then I have an extra little train that goes to you. It's a 3-year nurture campaign. That's right. You heard it. 3 years. We can get into why later. But the very first email, it says to you, by the way, you're going to get the very most out of this process if you are interactive. I want action takers. I want people that are ready to move the needle. And so I'm going to ask you every single time I email you to do something. If that is cool with you, stay on this list. If you would rather lurk, I get it. And we love you and you can lurk. But if you don't want to be moving the needle in your business, if you don't want to be asked to do things, then unsubscribe. It's okay.
Yeah.
My first email actually says that because I am giving you that framework from the jump that we're going to do stuff together, that this is not a passive experience, that you will get nothing out if you put nothing in. You might laugh at a few of my jokes. I am funny, but really, why are you here? You're here to move the needle and I'm here to help you. Yeah. So framing your conversations and putting a question always at the end, putting a question in your, this is my cat, Odin. He's, he only comes to my desk during interviews, people. So he obviously senses your importance. Anyway, questions. Honestly, if you're in a networking meeting, the first thing you do is hold out your hand and say, hi, my name's RJ. What's your name? You start with a question. Yeah. Relationship building online is not different than that. Ask questions. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2, give people options. Yes. Give people options. This can also be roll in with number 1, asking questions, because you can ask people questions and then give them a yes, no, maybe answer that they can answer. That will tell you stuff that will help people click that button and start to connect with you. But giving people options is like saying, I respect you. And I respect that you might not want to hear absolutely everything that I have to say. And I want to give you an opportunity to call out what you want to hear. I want you to call out what you want to know from me. What can I give you to make your life better today? Often it's just an idea. Yeah. And so when you give people options to go through your stuff, like, I do want to hear about all your events. I don't want to hear all your personal stories. They're a little boring for me. Or maybe the opposite. Giving people options about what they want to hear helps them tell you what's important to them. And it helps you respect them by not, telling them about stuff that they don't want to hear. These, people say all the time, it takes between 7 and 12 exposures for someone to, want to get a hold of you, or, you know what? BS, everybody. BS. Calling BS, because if you connect with somebody well enough, they'll show up on your calendar. I've been doing this for years, and trust me, it happens. People say, I saw the cape and I needed to get to know her. It happens all the time, my friends. You don't have to go through that 7 to 15 connections to get someone to decide to maybe look at you if you connect well enough the first time. And when you give people options about what they want to hear, when you ask them questions and respect the answers, that's a huge thing. Automatically, doesn't matter what you do for a living, you are head and shoulders above everybody else, because you have some respect for what they want to hear and where they want to go, and you're going to help them. So questions, options, give them different paths to walk down. You can do that in an email. You can do that in social post. You can do that the more advanced way is to do it with a bot and, have different conversations running for different people all the time. You can also do, quizzes and stuff. Those really are helpful for giving people options on what they want to choose. Those choices tell you something about that human. And remember, always, you're never, ever marketing to a screen, my friend. You are outreaching to other humans. There are humans on the other end of that panel. humans who want to talk to you. So let me get to the last secret, and then I know you have questions. I can see them brewing over there. The last one is gamification, folks. If it's easy and fun, it gets done. If it's easy and fun, it gets done. There is a reason why gaming is a $1 billion industry. And there is a reason that during the COVID, when we were all first shut down, everybody started playing games more. Everybody. Why? It gives you the ability to put on a different hat for a while. And people have a deep psychological need to be able to control the environment that they're in and affect and control that environment. When you play a game and you slay the dragon, or you put all the gems in a row and they disappear and you get 100 points, something happens to you psychologically. So why can't we, with integrity, take some of those same principles and put those things into our outreach? Hey, you answered this email. Now you get a secret surprise. You get to be invited into this exclusive group where I only allow these types of people. Do you want to come? Here, click the button, yes or no. Yeah. That instead of, oh, now you're in my circle, join this free group. Now sign up for this service. Now do this, now do that. And now you're connected with me absolutely everywhere that you could be. Make that free thing that you've been trying to give away some exclusive prize that they could win if they do something that you really want them to do, like reply to an email. Why not? Gamification it's a huge subject. It's tremendous. It's, we could get into this thing for days. I'm not sure if y'all have the astronaut underwear on to be able to go through days of that talk, but you can do it now. You can do it for free. You can do it right now. Make it easy and fun, and it'll get done. So, gosh, that was a lot. That was a little bit of a fire hose. Questions for me?
That was actually great. And I want to just say, you said every single day you have people connecting with you. And I just want to mention Deirdre and I were connected through a referral, because all of this relationship marketing, you're going to hear it throughout this whole entire summit. All of us are relationship marketing hard asses, because we know how well it works. But when we got into RJ's World, oh my gosh, the heavens opened above. And we were like, who is this person? We have to get on a call. And we ended up being like on for an hour and a half. It was only supposed to be a 30-minute quick thing. And we were just like, and every time we schedule a call with RJ, even to just catch up, we're like, let's make it an hour, at least an hour. We need an hour, because look at how much fun RJ is. And that is an example of the way that you can be with the people that connect with you. Now, we all don't wear capes, but we all have our own superpowers, right? And so we tap into who we are. And that's the other key to relationship marketing. It's who are you as a person? Embrace those things about yourself and let them shine, and don't shy away, and don't try to be a cookie cutter, of something you think you're supposed to be. Like the online world says, I'm supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do anything except be true to yourself. I'll get off my soapbox.
No, that is so exactly right. Be true to yourself. How else are you going to stand out? You yourself right now are a unique human. There's something about you that no one else has. Why not bring that out? Why not go ahead and show it off? Because how else are you going to stand out in a sea of sameness? How else are you going to be heard above the noise? Be yourself. Absolutely. I too used to wear a polo and sit here and talk about all the marketing buzzwords that the SEO people tell you need to have in your talk. And it was not good. It was not good, everybody. As you can probably imagine, the minute that I put on this cape, it was like, okay, RJ's coming to town now. And it's been nothing but good for me ever since. You don't have to wear a cape. No goggles necessary. Recommended, but not necessary. And, just there is something about you that is beautiful and wonderful, and that is going to change people's lives if they see it. Bring that out front. Do it. Do it. Sorry. Now I'm off my soapbox too.
All right, so I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit here too.
Sweet.
I love the part about, making it fun, because when it's fun, people will do it. And that's exactly how we do pretty much everything. Like every time we have a workshop, we have the ability for people to earn points. And it doesn't have to be a complicated system. You can, people will do anything for a $5 Starbucks gift card, let me tell you. And if you do a $10 Amazon card, oh, holy cow. They will just do all kinds of things. So, it can be a really simple thing that you can do.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to hear you, Deidre, I have to say. Hopefully people aren't having a hard time.
Well, the main point was people would do anything for a $5 Starbucks card and a $10 Amazon card. You know what? They will, because it's become fun. It's become a chase. It's become a game. So there's so much out there on the internet that is, I'm just going to give you everything I have and hopefully you'll hang on to one of these things. No, I care to know what you want. I care to know what it is that you want. And then making it a game, making it all right, super secret special surprise. If you tap this link right here, what do you think? Well, you're going to get people to tap that link.
Yeah.
So I'm in, Deirdre. I'm in 100% with what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to remind people too, if you look in the chat under this video, we've got the link to, first of all, if you want to dive into the superhero audience engagement thing, which after watching this, why wouldn't you? Then we suggest that you purchase the VIP pass because that helps you take everything to the next level with all the speakers. But if you don't want to do that and you just want to get into RJ's World, RJ has the free your marketing personality assessment, which is, I think that's the first thing we took when we got into your world. And that is like, you will have so much fun. It's like, I was like, look at this. Deidre and I did it at the same time. We shared screen and we went through, we're like, look at this. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's totally fun. So the link is there under this video for you to check that out and get into RJ's World. And then you can experience the fabulousness that is RJ all the time.
Yeah, thanks for giving out the link there. It's so funny to me that we all have different types of personalities. We all have, different things about us that want to connect with other people, that are great, that are sometimes not so great. We're all individuals. And yet we are taught to market all with the same voice, all with the same tools. Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. If you are new in your business, if you are just starting out, this is the kind of mire that you get sucked into. The you got to do this is that 1,000 thing list. Here's the point though, that there are certain activities on that list that you personally are going to get more out of because you will bring more passion to that party, that you will bring more skill to those type of activities, and you will continue those activities because it does give you something back every time you do it. For instance, I don't do a darn thing about SEO, search engine optimization, for all of you out there. I don't do a darn thing about it, but I make sure and have 6 new meetings a week with people that I don't know. Mm-hmm. Because those meetings give me a charge in my heart that SEO, I could care less. I could absolutely care less. Now, both tools are important, but there's one that I'm going to do. I'm going to do every week, no matter what, because I love it. So what the quiz does is it talks to you a little bit about your marketing personality. And then it gives you suggestions as to, the type that whichever quadrant you turn out to be, it gives you suggestions as to what you can do to take your natural strengths and move those toward the marketing activities that are going to give you the most. So that's what the quiz tells you. It's your personalized marketing mix, I call it. And it's great stuff. So do take advantage of that. It'll give you some ideas, and it'll start to help you speak in your own voice instead of do what you're told. Hey, I'm not good at doing what I'm told. Listen, I can't even write on lined paper, people. So don't do what you're told. Do what resonates with you and your message. That's absolutely, that's a message I want to pass on to everybody.
I think that's awesome. And we don't have any questions, but we have a comment. Kathy says, if it's easy and fun, it gets done, and she loves it. So yes, we love it too.
Absolutely. That's, you know what? You're meeting people where they're at. You're meeting people where their brain space is at. And I know that Carmen and Deirdre are both, you know, real fans of make sure that you know who you're targeting and make sure that it's specific. And like a fine painting, it's never done. It's never done. I get to a done-ish space and then I redo, but that's never been more important than right now, because your audience has changed tremendously in the past 2 years. Everybody's walking around with effects of how this pandemic has treated us, and what we're all carrying some extra baggage there. Make sure that you know what your audience is thinking and doing. Make sure you know the results that they want and the results that they've had during this past 2 years. Valuable information.
Yeah, such good tips. That's awesome. All right, RJ, thank you so much. Everyone who is watching this, whether right now or if you catch the replay, drop your questions below, because we will be checking back with all of these presentations to make sure your questions get answered. And then we've also got a form inside the VIP portal if you're watching from in there, or if you want to send your question out through there. We will get notified the minute a question comes through there, or on YouTube here, anywhere, and we are going to get right on it. So ask your questions. It's just like RJ said, you get more out of it if you engage and you interact, right? I mean, if you sit and watch all these presentations, you're going to get some great stuff. You might have some laughs, maybe some ideas will happen, but it's going to be really surface and one-dimensional. When you get involved, you start commenting, you start asking questions, you start wondering more, you know, I want to learn more about that. I want to take advantage of this. You get so much more out of it. So we encourage you to engage, interact, and we're here to engage and interact with you.
It is a worthy investment of your time. Can I just gush on you two for a second?
Sure.
All right. It is a worthy investment of your time. The two ladies that are in front of you right now have dealt with so many folks in their first few years of business. And you know what? There's a whole lot of people out there lined up to help you scale. But people who will talk to you and make sure you have the proper foundation and setup so that you can thrive even during times of craziness like the one that we're in right now. There's nobody better on earth. If you are attracted to hearing what these two women talk about all the time, I encourage you to take advantage of it, because they've been a force for good in my life, and they have been an excellent investment of time for me. So take advantage of it. They're right in front of you, asking you to engage. Do it. You'll never regret it.
Oh, that's just that warms my heart. Thank you so much, RJ. We appreciate it very much. So you heard it from RJ. Engage with us, with all the speakers. We're here for you. So we will be back in about 30 minutes with the wonderful Jenny Q, and you're not going to want to miss that one either. So we'll see you then. Bye.